Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. There's some exciting news for you Harman Kentmere lovers. They've just introduced a new 200 film to go in between their 100 and their 400 films, and I know a lot of you love shooting Kentmere. Not only is it a good budget film, but it's also less expensive than your FP4s or HP5s. So anyone out there that loves shooting Kentmere, they've just introduced a new 200 speed of it. Harman sent me 2 rolls, not really enough to know if you're going to like a film or not, but from what I've shot so far, I've had some nice results. And here is a photograph that I took a few weeks ago on my first roll. And it's a photograph of my wife's auntie sitting next to window light in my TV chair at home. I'd only just loaded the film for some development tests using ID11. And I then took another photograph in similar fashion of my wife and her cousin next to the window. They come over for the weekend, so I thought I'd get the opportunity to get some photographs of a bit of the family on film. When Harman sent me the films, I had no clue on development times, and so I had to do my own tests. So the first roll, I was sort of messing around with ID11 and developing times. So the first photographs I just showed you there were just over 10 minutes on a rotary processor, which I felt were too long. So I had to keep going forward with tests until I could find a happy medium with that first roll of film, so that now I could shoot the second roll of film knowing exactly what I was doing in the development. And as my tests went along, I was just dropping the time in the development, you know, until I could see negatives that I was really happy with. So using the rest of the film, I took a few more tests, and here's my daughter Jess. This time I reduced the development to 8.5 minutes, and the negs started to look much better. And I tried another portrait on Jessica's friend. And as always, when I want to test out films, I go down to the farm. There's plenty there for me to take pictures of, so I went down the farm to do some photographs down there. In a moment, I'm going to go out with 3 different filters and see what I can get. There's some lovely clouds up there, so I want to try and take advantage of that if I can. So it wasn't long ago I was up here taking some photographs for a vlog, but the beauty of coming back to these places is A, it's convenient for testing this film, it's a nice location, and B, this time I've got these clouds up in the sky and I've brought the filters with me, so it's going to make things a little bit different. So I'm going to use a 28mm lens for this one. I've already got the film in there, like I said. It's on aperture priority. I don't need to use any manual control. The shutter speed is not going to fall anything below what's handheld, so that's fine. I just need to set my aperture. I'm going to shoot this at f11, nice happy medium there, and I'll stick an orange filter on the lens. There's my orange filter. It's actually a 49mm filter, and this is a 52mm lens thread, but I've got a little tiny adapter to make it work. So we'll just put that on there. And what this orange filter is going to do, it's going to just darken those blue skies a little bit and give you some nice separation in the sky between the blue sky and the cloud. That's what that orange filter is going to do. I put my little tiny wrist strap on. Someone asked me the other day in the comments, in fact I get it quite a lot, where do I get this wrist strap from? I went to a leather shop and I had it made, and it's a couple of years old now, maybe 3 years old, and it's all loosened up now, and it's just nice. It's proper durable as well. And these photos I use an orange filter. The orange filter is going to darken the blue sky and give good separation in the clouds. I then switched over to the red filter for a darker sky and more dramatic cloud separation. And finally, I use my polarizing filter. And a polarizing filter is essentially used for removing unwanted reflections on water and glass, but it does give a nice subtle sky and cloud separation. And to try this film out on some scapes is important for me because I shoot a lot of scapes, so it makes sense to see how this film reacts with grain and tonality and what have you. The film impressed me, but only with 2 rolls. I can't really, you know, go forward with 2 rolls and decide if I really do like this film. It's always hard when you're shooting film and you're used to one particular film, one development. You know, you guys see me shoot a lot of different films, a lot of different developers, but in the background I'm often shooting FP4, usually pushing it to 400, and I'm going with Pyro or ID11 as my developer. And I've got this combo going on. I often use the same camera, same lenses, so everything's the same, so my negatives come back all the time. I know they're just going to look nice. So you know, when new films like this Kentmere 200 comes on my desk and I think, okay, let's shoot it. Really, I need to just keep shooting it for a while in different scenarios, different lighting conditions, different subjects, and seeing how they come out. And then as I walked further along the quay, I bumped into Mark. Now, this guy Mark, he's been on the channel before. He lives on a boat at the quay, and you often see him when you're walking around these parts. Nice guy to talk to, knows a bit about photography, so we end up having a good chat. Unfortunately, his boat was sinking when I got there, and he had all his stuff out. And I said, what's up, Mark? What, are you having a clean up? He said, no. He said, my boat's sinking. But he was in good spirits. He said, do you want to take a picture? I said, yeah, of course I do. So he got on the boat and he's giving it all this. So I took a couple of pictures of Mark and his brother, and I wish Mark all the best. And I carried on. But as I said, I only got 2 rolls of this Kentmere film. And as much as so far I like it, you can't really settle down with a film and a developer combo, camera lens combo, whatever, with only 2 rolls of film. So only time will tell if I buy more of this Kentmere 200 and plot it around in different scenarios, different lighting conditions, you know, on different projects to see if I like it. My normal go-to is FP4. With FP4, I'll push that to 400. Sometimes on the streets, I'll push it to 800 and I get really nice results. That's one thing I haven't tried on this film with these 2 rolls, was pushing and pulling. That will remain to be seen. If I get some more Kentmere 200, I can then dabble with that and see how strong it is with pushing and pulling film and playing around with it with other projects. But so far, the film actually looks really good. And as I was walking around the harbour, I thought I'd get a few shots in for my Looking Up project, which is a book that I've been trying to compile with print, Looking Up. And there's the studio there at the harbour, and the sun was shining on it perfectly. I thought I'd get a few shots of that as well. I haven't taken this photo of this from this angle. So that'll be a nice shot to take with the clouds and this orange filter. Something nice to put in the book when I make it. So I've got this big post in the way and a car there. Let's come down. Okay, we've got something here. This post is really ruining the shot, unfortunately, and there's a car there, which means I can't get, I have to come here. Well, that's lucky, the person's just come out and they're moving that car. But you can see the composition I was talking about. That I've got that post there and there was this car, so I had to come down lower to get the shot, which got all this stuff in. I didn't want that. And if I did get this post in, I wouldn't just want something white like that. I would want to make sure that I got this part in as well, where it's a bit rusty. So I've got sort of 2-tone going on. But now that car's moving, that makes things much better. Look at that. Let's take the shot. So far, I'm really impressed with the fine grain that this film gives. I do like a little bit of grain in portraits and street photography, but in landscapes, I like to I don't really want to see a great deal of grain in my landscapes, especially in the sky. So I'm often, for my landscapes and seascapes, looking for a finer grain, and this film certainly did deliver that. I've never really been a lover of Kentmere 100 and 400. I've shot plenty of it in the past, but I've always gone back to FP4. But I wonder if I push this 200 to 400 to see how that looks. So only time will tell what happens there. Wait, he's deaf. Wait. No. That's it, wait. And of course, especially, I'll be looking out to see what the price of this Kentmere 200 is. I don't know what the price of it is at the time of recording this video. If it's the same as, if it's in the same ballpark as 100 and 400, which is I can find for about £5 online, if I can pick this up and really enjoy it for £5 a roll, then that's a bargain. You know, that's using the budget film to your advantage and getting good photographs from it and not burning your pocket at the same time. So far, I've been really impressed with what Harman have done with Kentmere 200, and I'm looking forward to trying this out again in the future. I'll probably get a few more rolls just to push and pull and see how it works, see if I can blend it into my style of photography, because if I can, it's cheaper than the other films that's coming out, and if I'm right, this stuff is reminding me of Ilford FP4. It might be a bit of a game changer for me, so who knows. Let us know in the comments, guys, if any of you shoot Kentmere 100 and 400. Let me know if you do, and let me know if you're excited that this 200 has come to light. Is it something that you guys will try? It's a kind of happy medium between the 100 and 400. I think the tonality was fantastic, the fine grain looked good, and the latitude on it as well, meaning that I can overexpose or underexpose and still get acceptable results, was no problem. I haven't gone in the darkroom. That's the only thing yet. I haven't made any prints yet, but I will in time get in the darkroom and make some prints of these negs. So let me know what you think in the comments, guys, and good luck to Harman with this. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.